So Gareth Southgate has named his England provisional 33-man squad instead of a 26-man squad. There are a few surprises and a few known names in there. Trent Alexander has made the squad with Harry Maguire and Jordan Henderson, both of whom are suffering through injuries, are also in the squad. Uh, the squad will be the final squad will be named next week to trim it down to 26 before the friendlies against Austria and Romania. It was widely expected that Trent Alexander-Arnold will miss out on the England squad due to a indifferent season, but that's not the case. He's actually had a very good season, and it's just a general perception that the season has not been good for the Liverpool fullback. The players to make it are Dean Henderson from Manchester United, Sam Johnson, Jordan Pickford, who's probably going to be the first choice, Aaron Ramsdale, who's probably going to get axed. He's only there, I think, because Nick Pope of Burnley got injured. Then Trent Alexander, in defence, Trent Alexander, Ben Chilwell, Connor Cody, Ben Godfrey. Ben Godfrey is another first-time call-up. He might also get axed when the final 26 is named. Reece James, he's the only other right back along. No, he's not the only other right back. There are a lot of right backs. Harry Maguire, Tyrone Mings, Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw and Ben Chilwell are the only two left backs in the England squad. Then John Stones is there, who should be starting alongside Harry Maguire if Maguire is fit. Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker, Ben White, another first-time call-up, another player who might get axed. Then Jude Bellingham is there, Jordan Henderson, Jesse Lingard, Mason Mount, Calvin Phillips of Leeds, Declan Rice, James Ward-Prowse. In the forward line, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Mason Greenwood, Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, Jadon Sancho, Raheem Sterling, and Ollie Watkins of Aston Villa. So a lot of names, a lot of firepower in that England squad. But let's see who is going to make it through. Now another news that is coming through is that Christophe Galtier, the Lille coach who guided them to the title, has stepped down. So he'll be demanded by a lot of clubs. He's going to be in demand, but let's see where he goes to. Real Madrid, Barcelona and Juventus face potential 2-year ban from the UEFA competitions after European Association that have announced that they've begun disciplinary proceedings against the three clubs following the European Super League. So that's interesting to note. Champions League without Madrid, Barca and Juventus. That means Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo could both miss out, and 13-time champions Real Madrid will be missing out. So that's a possibility. Let's see. So the total number of fans allowed for the UEFA Champions League have been confirmed, and UEFA is saying 16,500 fans can be allowed for the game between Chelsea and Man City. That's good news, but tickets might be priced as high as £8,000. Coming back to the England omission, who's the biggest omission? There are players like Aaron Wan-Bissaka missing out, Nick Pope missing out. Now there are so many right backs. Somebody had to miss out, so maybe that's why Aaron Wan-Bissaka missed out. Although he's probably the best defensive right back out of all of them. Then Nick Pope is missed out, obviously because of injury to Pierre Tomori. Danny Ings is missed out also due to injury. Patrick Bamford misses out. But again, there are so many attackers. With Harry Kane is probably going to be the starting attacker. But Bamford was actually the second highest English goal scorer in the Premiership this season after Harry Kane. So that's quite hard to believe that Bamford didn't make it ahead of the likes of Ollie Watkins. Maddison misses out. Tarkowski misses out. Eric Dyer also misses out. So the Europa League final is tonight. Let's see who out of Villarreal and Man United. When Man United start as favourites, but Villarreal have a good team. They almost done Real Madrid in the last game, so they have some good players. Gerard Moreno especially is quite difficult to deal with, so it should be an interesting match. Luke Ayling was another surprising omission. Now Luke Ayling had won most tackles this season of any Premier League player in the 2021 season. So Luke Ayling was a surprising omission. Joseph Guardiola drops in that he's still not sure of his starting 11 and maybe Phil Foden will play, but he's still not sure of his starting 11. That means places are up for grabs, so players like Sergio Aguero might make it through. As we discussed yesterday, if Sergio Aguero is playing, then we could see a traditional number 10, number 9 playing for Man City. Otherwise it might be two false nines playing for both teams, because Chelsea are most likely going to go with a false 9 strategy. Manchester City are the new under 18 national champions. Man City win yet another title. They defeat Fulham and complete the academy clean sweep. They won the under 18 Premier League North Division against Manchester United. Now they won against the South Division. So now they've won against the South Division champions Fulham. So Man City under 19 team is doing pretty. Under 18s are doing well. Sam Edozie, Callum Doyle, and Romeo Lavia are some of the players who helped them. Carlos Borges, Oscar Bob, Darko Gyabi, and Micah Hamilton. So some good names there. Timo Werner continues to be in the news for missing goals. So coming back to the England setup, Dean Henderson is expected to start in goal with Kyle Walker. If England go with a 3 at the back formation, Kyle Walker, John Stones and Harry Maguire with the 3 centre backs. If Harry Maguire is not fit, then Tyrone Mings should be starting. Trent Alexander-Arnold will most likely start at the right midfield position. Mason Mount and Jordan Henderson at centre midfield, with Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips the deputies. Luke Shaw in the left wing back role. Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford and Harry Kane up top. So goal of the season contender, 90 minutes have named the goal by Manuel Lanzini against Tottenham as the goal of the season. That was a spectacular strike. Barcelona are heading for a summer exodus. They're set to axe 10 players in the summer transfer window, including Coutinho, Dembele, Umtiti and Griezmann. The new president John Laporta is ready to make some changes. Coutinho has been linked with Everton. He has not found form ever since he's come to Barcelona. He was so good with Liverpool, but somehow at Barca, maybe he plays in the same position as Lionel Messi does, and Antoine Griezmann also plays in the same position as Lionel Messi does, but for some reason Coutinho has not fired. Maybe if given more time he could do well, but it looks like Laporta has had enough and he's going to ask Philippe Coutinho. Antoine Griezmann has found his groove in the last second half of last season, so not surprising if they're letting him go. Ricky Puig is also going to be allowed to leave on loan. Francisco Trincao, Serginho Dest, Clement Lenglet are not thought to be in immediate danger, but the potential replacement of coach Ronald Koeman could change that. So Trincao has done pretty well for Barcelona and is a favourite of Ronald Koeman, as is Serginho Dest and Clement Lenglet. So I don't think these players should be allowed to go. Same goes for Ricky Puig, but he hasn't played under Ronald Koeman at all. So there seems to be some sort of problem there. Puig was considered a very good player, but Trincao is a nice player. He's got the Barcelona DNA in him, and whenever he's come on, he showed flashes of brilliance. Some other players such as Gerard Piqué, Sergi Roberto, Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba, they're all in danger of losing their positions in the club. So it just leaves guys like Lionel Messi, Frankie De Jong, Marc-Andre ter Stegen as the three big names, Ansu Fati and Pedri as the big names who are safe at the Nou Camp currently. Let's hope a repeat of Luis Suarez doesn't happen for them after they let go of Luis Suarez and he turned out to win the La Liga title for Atletico Madrid. So Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford and Luke Shaw are hoping to persuade Harry Kane to join Manchester United while they'll be on England duty. This saga seems to continue and go on and on, like where he would go. Harry Kane, as we all know, is a special player, topping England, the Premier League in both goals and assists this season. So he could, wherever he goes, he's guaranteeing them a minimum of 30 goals. So he should stay at Tottenham. That's where his legacy is. That's where he's made most of his name so far and guide Tottenham to a title. But if he really wants to go, I think Man City is the best option, because at Man City he's guaranteed titles. Man City do not look like losing the title even next season, and even Champions League they are looking strong now with their squad. And if you add Harry Kane to that team, it's going to be very special. As for Manchester United, again, Harry Kane could go to United, they'll become title challengers, they need a couple of signings. Gary Neville has said that they need 3 signings: Harry Kane, Jadon Sancho and Rafael Varane. Obviously, if you get these 3 players, any team will become title contenders overnight. So getting Harry Kane for Man United could be a real coup. Kane can help guide them to the title, at least help them challenge for the title. As for Jadon Sancho, he's very fast, he's so super agile, so skillful, he's good at crossing, he's good at passing, he's got a very good push. Basically, at his age, he's a very good player, and Sancho can be something special. Rafael Varane, we all know, multiple time Champions League winner, World Cup winner. He will instantly upgrade at Manchester United defense. Another coach who might be leaving his job soon after the Lille coach is Antonio Conte from Inter Milan. After guiding Milan to a title, he might be leaving because of Inter Milan's financial struggles. But if he leaves, then there are certain players like Ashraf Hakimi, Lautaro Martinez and Romelu Lukaku who might follow him. So that might be something that we need to check. Willian wants to go back to Chelsea. Willian had a very bad time at Arsenal. He did not score enough goals. He did not get enough assists. He lost his starting place to the youngsters, and now he wants to go back to Chelsea. Now Willian is an enigma. He's so talented, but he's never really, ever since he's come to Chelsea, he's never really found his groove. I think in the Premier League, he's just become a squad and a rotation player. He's not a first team player for the big 6 clubs. So I'm not sure if Chelsea would want him back, even though Chelsea themselves are looking for a few players. So Christophe Galtier, Luis Campos, when he was at Monaco, he's a transfer genius behind the only two sides other than PSG to win League One in the last 9 years. He was at Monaco. He signed Bernardo Silva for 3 million and sold him for 45 million. Signed Fabinho for 2 million, sold him for 43 million to Liverpool. Signed Lemar for 1 million, sold him for 63 million and discovered Mbappe. At Lille, he signed Rafael Leao for 5 million, sold him for 24 million. Signed Pepe for 3 million, sold him for 72 million. Signed Gabriel for 3 million, sold him for 25 million. Now this is interesting. He signed Victor Osimhen for 12 million, sold him for 60 million. He got his replacement and signed Yilmaz for free. And then he got Jonathan David for 24 million. Both of these players just guiding them to the league title. Gennaro Gattuso is the new Fiorentina coach, just 48 hours after being sacked by Napoli. Gareth Bale had a season to enjoy for Tottenham Hotspur, getting a goal assist every 87 minutes. He ended up with 16 goals and 3 assists, one of the best minutes per goal ratio of any player in the Premier League. Paul Scholes said that Manchester United need to make a few changes in defence. Victor Lindelof is not good enough, and he's saying that Marquinhos is the ideal player to partner Harry Maguire at the back. It's true, Victor Lindelof is not good, neither is Harry Maguire, to be honest. So maybe Manchester United do need somebody like Marquinhos or Rafael Varane that will just catapult them to the next level. Right now United are at best the second best team in the Premier League, or the third best, maybe even behind Liverpool at full strength. Luis Suarez has broken his silence over his departure from Barcelona. He's saying, I'm not going to go against Barcelona ever because they've given me everything and allowed me to play at elite level. But obviously that the president said everything he said in the press. Instead of calling me when they wanted Leo to stay, they called me to convince him. Why didn't they call me when they wanted me to leave? From Koeman, I understand they told me to tell you. That's when you realize that he doesn't have so much personality. He wasn't the coach, it came from above. Bartomeu and the former Barcelona board, none of them congratulated me, but I was close to sending them a photo. So it was sad to see the way Luis Suarez, I still believe he's at the top of his game, and he was at the top of his game. He's still one of the best number 9 strikers in the world. What he's done and what he's achieved in the past 10 years, no other striker has done that. And his numbers prove it. So it was wrong for Barcelona to send him out like that, but it's just a serve. He's done well for Atletico and he's actually guiding them to a title, which is quite surprising. Now Sergio Aguero and Wayne Rooney, which one is the bigger Premier League legend? I think Wayne Rooney is still the bigger Premier League legend. After all, he's won more, I don't think he's won more titles, but he's just a bigger Premier League legend. But Aguero is very close to him now. Just because of the longevity that Rooney had. Obviously stats wise it's Sergio Aguero. Pep Guardiola's league finishes since 2009, first in 2009, first in 2010, first in 2011, second in 2012, first in 2013, first in 2014, first in 2015, first in 2016, third in 2017, first in 2018, first in 2019, second last year and first again. That makes for some reading. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's tackle success rate last in 17-18 was 87.9%, 18-19 92.8%, 19-20 85.4%, and 2021 87.1%. And he's led Europe for all 4 consecutive seasons with his tackle rate and still not selected, maybe because of the way he goes forward.